It was past midnight. The streets of the city were quiet, empty, and wet with rain. Sam Carter sat alone in his old yellow taxi. He was tired. His back hurt, and he hadn't eaten anything except cheap coffee since morning. He looked at the meter, only 40 credits today, he sighed. What a joke. Sam turned off the meter and leaned back in his seat. It was time to go home. Then. Ping, his taxi console blinked. New ride request. No pickup location. No passenger name. Fare, 1,000 credits. What? Sam frowned. He had never seen a request like that before. No location, no name, but 1,000 credits? Must be some rich kid playing a prank, he muttered. Still, he needed the money. He tapped accept. The screen lit up. Drive to edge of district. 9. Wait near the old radio tower. Sam hesitated, then started the engine. His taxi hummed like an old beast coming back to life. He drove through empty streets, past broken lights and closed shops. The city slowly changed from clean roads to dark alleys and silent ruins. District 9 was not a place most people visited at night. Finally, he reached the old radio tower. It stood like a dead tree in the darkness. Cold wind blew through the broken fence. And then he saw her. A girl stood under the tower. She wasn't wearing a coat, but didn't seem cold. Her skin was pale. Her hair was long and silver blue, almost glowing under the moonlight. She wore a long dark dress that shimmered like metal, and her eyes were glowing. Sam blinked. Is that some kind of costume? The girl stepped forward and opened the back door of the taxi. Hello, she said in perfect English, but with a strange, soft accent. Thank you for coming. No problem, Sam replied slowly. Where to? She looked at him, then out the window. Take me to a place called the Beacon. The what? She blinked. It's in your desert, near old ruins. I can show you the way. Sam paused. Something felt weird. But those eyes, they looked lost. Not dangerous. Just sad, all right? He said. Buckle up. As they drove through the night, Sam kept checking the mirror. So, he said finally, you visiting from out of town? She smiled softly. You could say that, he chuckled. You've got an unusual look. Those eyes, are they lenses? She turned her head. Do they scare you? Sam shook his head. No, just curious, that's all. There was silence for a while. Then she asked, do humans always ask so many questions? Sam raised an eyebrow. Well, now I'm sure you're not from around here. She didn't laugh. An hour passed. They reached the desert highway. The stars above were bright, and the city lights were far behind. All right, Sam said. We're out in the middle of nowhere. I don't see any beacon. She looked out the window. Stop here. He pulled over. The girl stepped out slowly and stared into the night sky. She closed her eyes and whispered something in a strange language. A soft light blinked in the distance. There it is, she said. It's calling. Sam stepped out too, curious. You really believe something's out there? She looked at him. I know it is. I come from far beyond your stars. I ran from something terrible, and now I need to call for help. Sam blinked. Wait, you're serious? She nodded. He laughed nervously. Okay. Well, your fare's 1,000 credits. She looked at him. I have no money. He froze. What? But, she continued, I can give you something much more valuable. She reached into her dress and pulled out a tiny glowing crystal. It shimmered like a frozen star. She handed it to him. Touch it, she said. Sam hesitated, then took it. In an instant, his mind exploded with visions, planets burning, stars collapsing, alien cities in war, and a young girl running, always running. He dropped the crystal, gasping for breath. What the hell was that? She looked at him with soft eyes. My truth. Sam stepped back. You're not human. No, she said gently. But I need your help. In the distance, a black shape moved across the sky fast, silent, like a shadow. Sam stared at it. "What the hell is that?" The girl's voice dropped to a whisper. "They found me." Asterisk, the moment Sam heard those words. They found me. His stomach dropped. The girl, Zara, stared up at the sky, her silver blue hair moving in the cold desert wind. The shape above them moved without sound, black and smooth like liquid metal. It circled once, then again, lower each time. Sam knew that wasn't any kind of drone he'd seen before. "What do you mean they found you?" he asked, backing toward. The taxi. Zara didn't answer right away. Her glowing eyes were fixed on the sky, her body stiff. Then she whispered, "We need to go." Now Sam didn't wait. He jumped into the driver's seat and turned the key. The engine groaned for a second too long, then started. Zara slid into the back, closing the door behind her. The black drone above began to descend faster, red lights blinking beneath it. Sam hit the gas. Dust flew behind the taxi as it sped down the desert road. In the rearview mirror, the drone followed smooth. Fast, silent. "I don't know what that thing is," Sam said, gripping the wheel tight. "But I'm guessing it doesn't want to say hello." "They are called seekers," Zara said, her voice flat. "They don't speak. They don't feel. They only search ... and destroy." "Well, that's great," Sam muttered. "Just what I needed on a Tuesday night." The drone dropped lower. A bright beam of light shot out from its center, scanning across the road. When it touched the car, every electronic inside blinked, the lights, the console, even the radio. For a second, the car's engine sputtered. Sam slapped the dashboard. "Don't you dare die on me now." Zara reached forward from the back seat and pressed her palm on the console. It lit up again, steadier this time, like it was being powered by something else. "What did you do?" Sam asked, eyes wide. "I gave it a little help," she said. Simply, "You do magic tricks too?" Zara didn't smile. Behind them, the drone let out a high-pitched sound like metal screaming. Then it fired. A sharp red beam sliced across the sky, hitting the road behind them. Asphalt exploded into dust and flames. Sam swerved hard, the taxi bouncing over sand and dirt, barely keeping control. "We can't outrun it forever," he shouted. "You don't need to," she said. "Just get us into the canyon." "They can't." "Track energy signals through stone." Sam looked ahead. The desert was flat for miles. "There's no canyon here." "There is," she said. "Trust me." He wanted to argue, but she had just made his half-dead taxi glow like a spaceship. So he drove. 10 minutes passed with the drone still chasing. It fired again, missing them by inches. And then, out of nowhere, the ground dipped. Sam didn't see the path until the last second, a narrow trail leading down into a hidden canyon. Carved by ancient water. He turned the wheel and took the plunge. The taxi dropped fast, tires skidding, rocks flying. The drone slowed, scanning the sudden drop. Then it vanished. As they reached the bottom, everything became quiet. The wind stopped. The sky above seemed farther away. Sam finally slowed the car and took a breath. His hands were shaking. Zara leaned forward. "Thank you." "Don't thank me yet," he said. "You still haven't told me what the hell you are, or why those flying death machines want you." Zara was quiet for a long moment. Then she said, "I'm not the only one here." Sam turned in his seat. "What does that mean?" "There are others like me," she continued. "Not many. We came here after the war started in my system. My planet, it's gone. Burned. We escaped. Some landed here. Most did not survive." She looked out the window at the silent canyon walls. "They've been hunting us for years. The Seekers were built by humans, your future, maybe, or maybe a different version of you. But they became something else. Something you can't control. They're machines, yes, but not without purpose." Sam's head was spinning. "Hold on. You're saying humans made those things?" Zara nodded. Your kind tried to use alien technology. You weren't ready. And now, someone somewhere wants that tech back. She reached into her sleeve and pulled out another small object, flat, round, metallic. She handed it to him. "What's this?" Sam asked. "A key," she said, "to a place called the Beacon. I need to get there, before they find it." He looked at the strange device. It felt warm in his hand, like it was alive. "Why me?" he asked. "Why pick me out of all the people?" She looked at him again, her voice soft. "Because you didn't run. You could have left. But you didn't." Sam didn't know what to say. For the first time that night, she smiled, just a little. A human kind of smile. Then suddenly, the ground shook. Sam looked around. "What now?" Zara stood quickly. "It's not over. There's something else. Coming, something worse." And from deep within the canyon, a distant sound echoed like metal grinding against stone, and the low hum of something waking up, something old, something not human. The ground trembled again. It wasn't like an earthquake, it was slower, deeper, as if the earth itself was holding its breath. Sam gripped the steering wheel and looked over at Zara, who was already stepping out of the taxi. Her glowing eyes were wide now, not with fear, but with recognition. She knew what that sound was. "What's down here?" Sam asked as he followed her out. "The past," she said quietly, "and maybe our future." Before he could ask more, the canyon wall to their left lit up. A soft pulse of blue light appeared, moving like veins under stone. Lines spread across the rock, forming symbols and shapes Sam couldn't understand. "What is this place?" he whispered. Zara stepped forward, placing her hand on one of the glowing patterns. The rock hissed and pulled back, revealing a doorway, metallic, ancient, humming with power. "A beacon," she said. "But not the one I need. This is older, forgotten, probably broken. But it might have answers." Sam stared at the open passage. "You're telling me there's an alien base in the middle of this canyon?" "I'm not telling you," she said, walking inside. "I'm showing you." Left with no real choice, Sam followed. The air inside was cold, but not dead. Lights flickered on as they moved, sensing their presence. The walls were smooth like glass, but dark like obsidian, and symbols glowed faintly along the corridor. Sam felt like he was walking inside a machine built by something far older than humans. "How long has this place been here?" he asked. "Thousands of your years," Zara replied. "Maybe more. Time moves differently where I'm from." "Right, and I thought my GPS was hard to understand." Zara stopped in front of a large circular door. She placed the metallic key, the one she gave Sam, into a slot at the center. The key melted into the door like liquid metal. Then the door opened with a deep, echoing hum. Inside was a massive chamber. The ceiling was so high, it disappeared into darkness. Strange machines floated in the air, motionless, but humming faintly. At the center stood a tall pillar made of glowing crystals. Zara walked to it slowly, with reverence, like someone visiting a grave. "This was built by the Watchers," she said. "My people believe they once protected this galaxy before they disappeared." Sam looked around. "Are you saying they were aliens or gods?" She touched the pillar. "Maybe both." He didn't know how to answer that. Zara reached into her sleeve and pulled out the same small crystal she had given him earlier. She held it to the pillar, and the room lit up instantly. A soft hum filled the air, and blue light danced along the walls, showing star maps, galaxies, and Earth. Sam stepped back. "That's us." "Yes," she said. "This planet is important. More than you know. The beacon was placed here for a reason." The pillar suddenly projected an image into the air, Zara's homeworld. It showed green oceans, tall towers, strange moons. And then fire, explosions, ships falling from the sky. The sky turned black. Sam watched, stunned. "They did this?" he asked. She nodded. Humans came looking for technology, not people. When the war started, they didn't care who got caught in the middle. Sam frowned. But that's not us. We haven't even reached other planets yet. Zara looked at him, serious now. Not you, not now. But your future, it's already written in the stars. The image changed Earth, decades from now. Tall machines, half-human soldiers, cities under control, drones flying. People watched. Controlled. Zara looked down. The same people who built the Seekers. They're coming here too. Sam stared at the vision. So, you're here to warn us? She shook her head. I'm here to survive. The warning is just part of the cost. He took a deep breath. And the beacon, this one is broken? She looked at the crystal slowly dimming in her hand. It's too old, too damaged. But there's another one. The real beacon. If I can reach it, I can send a signal across galaxies. Call for help, my people. If any are left, they might still answer. Sam looked around. The glow was fading now. The pillar powered down and the maps disappeared. He had never believed in aliens, not really. But this wasn't a movie. This was real. This was happening. Then from the far end of the chamber came a low mechanical growl. Zara turned sharply. They followed us. A figure stepped out from the shadows. Not quite human, not fully machine. Its arms were thin and metallic, but its face, half flesh, half steel, showed no emotion. A single red eye glowed in the center of its forehead. Sam pulled Zara back. What is that? A harvester, she said. They collect memory tech. Anything alive, and turn it into data. They don't leave witnesses. The harvester raised its hand. It didn't speak. It didn't need to. Zara threw the crystal at the wall. It shattered, and the floor lit up beneath them. A new path opened behind the pillar. Run! She shouted. They ran. Lights exploded behind them. The harvester fired silent beams that turned metal into ash. Sam ducked, nearly tripping, and Zara grabbed his arm to keep him moving. They made it out of the chamber, heartbeats racing, as the passage behind them collapsed. Back in the canyon, under the night sky, they gasped for breath. Zara looked at the stars again. We need to reach the beacon, she said. Before the harvesters reach you. Sam nodded, still trying to breathe. Next time you call a taxi, maybe warn the driver first. Zara smiled just for a second. Then the stars above flickered. 1, 2, 3. They were moving. Not stars. Ships. And they were getting closer. Asterisk, the stars shouldn't move. Sam knew that much. Stars didn't blink or shift or pulse with red and blue light. But tonight, they were. He stood beside Zara on the canyon floor, the desert wind pulling at his jacket. Above them, 3 points of light moved in slow, steady formation across the night sky, silent, sharp, too perfect to be anything natural. Those aren't stars, he said quietly. No, Zara whispered. They're scouts, sent ahead of the fleet. If they've found this canyon, we're out of time. Sam watched as one of the lights paused mid-air, then tilted, scanning the desert below with a narrow cone of light. We're not staying here. He muttered, Get in. They jumped into the taxi, still dusty from the wild ride through the canyon, and Sam started the engine. The tired old vehicle rumbled to life again, the dashboard lights flickering like it was afraid too. Zara held onto the side of the seat, her eyes fixed on the sky. They won't use weapons right away, she said. They'll try to find us, confirm it's me, then they'll act. Sam snorted. Well, that's comforting. He pulled onto the dirt road and began driving west, deeper into the desert, where signal towers disappeared and nothing but rocks, and sand stretched for miles. The taxi bounced over uneven ground. Sam's hand stayed tight on the wheel. I still don't get it, he said after a while. Why here? Why Earth? What makes this planet so special? Zara leaned her head against the window. You ask questions like someone who still believes his world is quiet. It's not. Sam glanced at her in the mirror. She looked tired now. Not just from running, but like she had carried the weight of galaxies for years. Earth is older than it seems, she said. Buried beneath your cities, your oceans, your deserts, are echoes of things your kind forgot or were told to forget. He didn't know how to respond. The only sound for a while was the hum of the engine and the wind howling through cracks. In the windows. Then Zara spoke again. The beacon we need. It's not just a signal tower. It was built long before humans existed. A warning system, a voice that could reach across time. The last one, built by who? She didn't answer. Sam slowed the car as a large rock blocked the road. As he swerved around it, something shimmered in the air, a faint blue ripple like heat, but cold. It appeared for only a second before vanishing. Sam hit the brakes. What was that? He asked. Zara leaned forward. A distortion. We're close. Close to what? To a truth your people tried to erase. The road ahead wasn't really a road anymore. It was a dried riverbed, winding between high cliffs. Sam drove carefully now, headlights barely reaching the rocks ahead. Then they saw it. Hidden between two massive canyon walls, half buried in sand and shadows, stood a structure that made Sam's heart stop. It looked like a temple, but not human. Tall, sharp angles, floating stones. A soft blue glow pulsing from inside cracks that should have been impossible. It wasn't made of concrete or steel. It looked alive. That's it, Zara said. The beacon. They got out of the car and approached slowly. As they did, the ground beneath them shimmered again. A thin line of light spread forward from Zara's footsteps, lighting a path toward the entrance. Sam followed close, unsure if he should be amazed or terrified. Inside, the air felt thick, like breathing underwater. Symbols hovered in the air, shifting as they walked. Machines floated above their heads, silent, watching. A large platform waited in the center, surrounded by glowing rings. It looked like some kind of transmitter. Zara stepped onto it. This is it, she said. I upload my memory core, and the beacon will open. It will send everything, my knowledge, the history of the war, the future you're heading toward. Everything. Sam took a step forward. Wait, upload? You mean? Like a computer? She looked down. My body is real. But part of me was made, engineered. A living archive, the last one. Once I activate this, my core will dissolve. I won't survive. Sam froze. No, there has to be another way. There isn't, she said softly. I knew this when I ran. But I hoped, maybe for once, I wouldn't have to do it alone. For the first time, Sam saw her as something more than an alien. More than a strange girl with glowing eyes. He saw someone who just wanted to live. Don't do this, he said. We'll find another way. Maybe the people on Earth can help. She gave a sad smile. The same people who built the harvesters? The same future that sent seekers across galaxies? Sam clenched his fists. But I'm here. I'm not them. Zara walked over to him. She placed her hand on his chest. You're kind, brave, but this isn't your burden. It's mine. From outside, a low sound echoed across the canyon. The ships above were descending. They're here, Zara said. We're out of time. The platform began to glow as she stepped back onto it. The beacon came alive. Lights spun. The chamber. Achum med. Sam grabbed her arm. No. Let me try. Give me the crystal. Maybe I can. You're human, she said gently. Your mind would burn. You weren't built for this. He looked at her, desperate. Zara leaned forward and pressed her forehead gently to his. You gave me something I never had, she whispered. A choice. That was enough. And then the beacon pulsed. A burst of light shot upward into the sky, cutting through the canyon like a pillar of fire. The ships above stopped. The wind roared. Rock shook. Zara's body began to glow, slowly dissolving into light. She looked at him one last time. "Thank you, Sam." Then she was gone. The beacon stood quiet again, but the sky was no longer silent. Above, the ships began to turn. Retreating. Something had heard the signal. Something was coming. Asterisk. The desert felt too quiet. Too still. Like the world had stopped breathing. Sam stood alone at the edge of the beacon platform. Dust in his mouth, light still fading from the sky where the signal had fired moments ago. His hands trembled. His legs were weak. But it wasn't the wind or the noise that shook him. It was the silence she left behind. Zara was gone. She had turned into light molecules pulled apart, scattered across space like a message carried on the wind. One moment, she was real, standing in front of him, and the next, nothing. Not even the glow of her crystal. Just emptiness. He wanted to scream, to run, to punch the metal walls around him. But he didn't. He just stood there, heart heavy, staring at the place where she had vanished. That's when the beacon spoke, not with words, not with sound, but with memory. His vision blurred. The world tilted. And suddenly, Sam was no longer in the canyon. He was somewhere else. A city made of towers taller than mountains. Skies with two suns. Silver ships flying between glowing roads. Children with skin like glass and laughter like music. It was Zara's home world before the war. Before the machines. Before the fall. He saw her as a child, running through a marketplace, her parents walking behind her, smiling. He saw a world alive with joy, peace, color. A place untouched by fear. Then. Fire. Ships falling from the sky, sirens, screams. Saw the moment everything ended. Zara's mother handing her a glowing crystal. Soldiers pulling her away. Buildings turning to ash. The sky burned red. And then darkness. The beacon let him see it all. Her memories, her pain, her purpose. When he opened his eyes again, he was back in the canyon. Alone, tears drying on his face. He didn't know how long he stood there. Could have been minutes. Could have been hours. The desert sun had begun to rise again, turning the canyon walls gold and blood orange. And then movement. He heard the soft crush of boots on sand. Sam turned sharply. His hand instinctively reached for the wrench he kept under the seat of the taxi. But it wasn't a drone or a harvester. It was a man, human, dressed in black, clean suit, clean boots. Not dusty like someone who walked through the desert. His face was sharp but calm. His eyes didn't blink often. "Samuel Carter," the man said. "You've had a long night." Sam didn't speak. The man smiled a little. "I represent an organization that monitors extraterrestrial anomalies." Sam narrowed his eyes. "Government?" The man shrugged. "Something older than that." He looked past Sam at the beacon, still humming softly with energy. "She activated it. Impressive. You knew about her?" Sam asked. "Oh yes. We've been tracking her since the moment she entered Earth's orbit. But we weren't fast enough. You were faster." Sam clenched his fists. "She was trying to help. I believe she was," the man said. "But not everyone will see it that way." "What do you mean?" "Sam," the man said, stepping closer. "What she uploaded. It wasn't just a call for help. It was data, proof, images, plans, technology, everything she carried inside her." Sam felt his heart tighten. "What happens now?" The man's voice lowered. "Now the world changes." He pulled a small device from his coat and held it up. "This is what we recovered. A copy of her memory, sent to us directly. But we weren't the only ones listening." Sam's blood ran cold. "Others heard it?" he asked. The man nodded. "Other worlds. Other species. Some peaceful. Some not. But now they know Earth has something. Something worth watching, or taking, Sam stared at him. So we're a target. We've always been a target, the man replied. We just didn't know it. He began walking back toward a sleek black vehicle that Sam hadn't noticed before. It was hidden perfectly behind the rocks, completely silent, nearly invisible. Not a military car. Something more advanced. Before stepping inside, the man turned. You should disappear for a while, Mr. Carter. You helped an enemy of Earth. Some people won't understand what she was. She wasn't an enemy, Sam said, voice shaking. She was more human than most people I've met. The man looked at him for a long moment. Then he nodded once. I believe you. And then he left. The car vanished over the ridge, without sound, without dust. Sam stood in the rising heat, the desert stretching out around him. He turned back to the beacon one last time. It was quiet now, still, but something inside it, deep inside, was awake. He didn't know what the future held. He didn't know if Zara's people would come, or if someone worse would, but he knew one thing. He wasn't just a taxi driver anymore. He was a witness. And somewhere across the stars, someone had heard her call. Asterisk, the city didn't notice. No alarms went off. No breaking news. No sudden panic in the streets. The beacon had sent its signal hours ago. And yet everything above ground, people, buildings, traffic lights, coffee shops, remained unchanged. As if the sky hadn't been cut open by a beam of light that reached beyond the stars. But deep beneath the silence, something had shifted. Data centers and underground bunkers, lit up with codes not written by human hands. Hidden satellites, long believed defunct, powered on. Military AI systems paused, scanned themselves, then reprogrammed. Somewhere in the Arctic, a black cube buried beneath miles of ice blinked for the first time in centuries. The world hadn't noticed, but the machines had. Sam Carter noticed too. He hadn't slept in 2 days. Since Zara vanished inside the beacon, he hadn't spoken to another soul. He had driven the taxi back into the city like a ghost, headlights off, hands tight around the wheel, heart full of something he couldn't name. The world felt heavier. Now, every face he passed on the street looked strange, hollow, unaware of what had changed. She gave everything, he kept thinking. And no one knows. Sam didn't want to be seen. He parked his taxi in a back alley behind a dead bookstore and slept. In the front seat, he ate dry sandwiches and stared at the sky like it owed him answers. But every night, the same thing happened. He dreamed of her. Not the Zara who sat in the backseat of his cab, quiet and curious, asking about Earth food and why humans watched so many movies. This Zara was light, a voice without words, a memory that floated just beyond his reach. She never spoke. But in the dreams, Sam could feel her asking, "What will you do with the truth I gave you?" He didn't know the answer, not yet, but someone else did. It started on the third night. A knock on the glass. Sam woke up with a start. Someone was outside the cab. A woman, blonde, in a suit that didn't wrinkle, holding a folder and a calm professional smile. "Samuel Carter?" She asked through the window. He didn't reply. "I'm not with the government," she said. "Not exactly. But I work with those who cleaned up the beacon site." Sam slowly opened the door. "You with the guy in the black coat?" She smiled. "He works with us. He's what you'd call field management. I'm policy." Sam stepped out. "So what do you want?" She handed him the folder. Inside were photos of the beacon, of him and Zara, of the moment the light shot into space. "You're now part of the most classified incident in global history," she said. "The information your friend released wasn't just scientific. It contained memory streams, war records, audio logs from an alien civilization, maps." Sam's heart skipped. "And what are you doing with it?" She raised an eyebrow. "Exactly what you'd expect. Reverse engineering, containment, denial." "She didn't die to be contained." "No," the woman said. "But she gave Earth a weapon. Whether she meant to or not." Sam closed the folder. You think this is a good thing? I think. It's already done, she said simply. And I think you're changing. He looked at her, confused. What are you talking about? She nodded toward his hands. He hadn't noticed it before. His skin was glowing faintly, only under the fingernails. A soft blue pulse, just like Zara's crystal. It's residue, she said. Some part of her was transferred to you when you held the crystal. Maybe memory, maybe code. Maybe something we don't have a name for yet. Sam stared at his hands. I don't feel different. You will, she replied. She handed him a small card, silver, blank, cold to the touch. If you want to know more, come here, she said, walking away. But be warned, some truths. Once you learn them, you don't get to go back. She vanished down the alley. Sam looked at the card. It had no name, no address, just a symbol. A circle split in two, like an eclipse frozen in motion. That night, he didn't sleep. The dreams came harder now. Not just Zara's voice, but others. Languages he didn't know yet understood. Coordinates. Memories of battles he never fought. A city floating in the clouds. A machine god eating stars, and in every dream, the same question. What will you do with the truth? When morning came, Sam knew. He couldn't run Texas anymore. Couldn't hide in alleyways or pretend he hadn't seen the shape of what was coming, because something was coming. He could feel it now. A hum beneath the earth. A pull in the air. Like the world had been asleep for centuries and was just beginning to wake up and stretch and remember. And somewhere, far across the stars, someone had heard her voice. They were answering. Not all of them would be friendly. Sam looked up at the pale sky. For the first time, he didn't feel small. Zara had said he wasn't built for this. Maybe she was wrong, or maybe he was just starting to become something else. Asterisk. It started with a shadow, one that didn't move with the sun. One that had no source. It appeared first in the sky, just a flicker at the edge of vision. People looked up, thinking it was a glitch in their eyes. A plane, maybe. A cloud. But the shadow grew. Sam Carter saw it, while standing alone on the rooftop of an abandoned motel. On the city's edge. He had been there since dawn, watching, waiting. The silver card the woman gave him was still in his pocket, untouched, unread, but he didn't need it to know something was coming. He could feel it. The humming inside him had grown louder. His dreams were no longer dreams. They were memories. Zara's memories, war, flight, hope, and fear. A signal doesn't just send information. It attracts attention, and now, something had answered. He saw the first ship break through the clouds, just after sunrise. It wasn't sleek or silver or shiny like in human sci-fi movies. It was dark, silent, and wrong, as if the air bent around it. It didn't land. It hovered. Watching. Then another came, and another. By noon, the world governments had issued emergency broadcasts, weather balloons, military tests, foreign surveillance. Lies to keep panic in check, but people were already afraid. They felt what Sam felt. Earth had been seen. And the watchers were here. Hours later, Sam stood in front of a steel door at a facility hidden under a collapsed power station. A silver card opened it like magic. No passwords. No questions. Inside were machines that looked too advanced to be human-made, and people who looked like they had seen more than one planet. Some had cybernetic eyes. Some wore masks that didn't breathe air. And in the middle of the room stood the man in the black coat. I figured you'd come, the man said. I didn't come for answers, Sam said. I came because something's coming, and I need to know what you're doing to stop it. The man smiled faintly. We're trying. But what's coming isn't a fleet. It's a decision. Sam frowned. What do you mean? The beings that heard the beacon, they don't invade, they judge. They decide if a planet is worth protecting, or silencing. Sam laughed bitterly. So Earth's on trial now? The man nodded. And you, Mr. Carter, are our only witness. Sam stepped back. Me? I'm not a leader. I'm not a soldier. You're the only human who made contact without violence. The only one who saw her, listened to her, helped. Her memory lives in you now. You are the carrier. The bridge. I didn't ask for that, Sam whispered. No one ever does, the man said. But someone always has to carry the fire forward. Outside, the sky cracked not with thunder, but with language. Symbols burned into clouds, too large to read, too fast to understand. The ships hovered lower now. Civilians fled. The military launched fighters, but the moment they approached, their systems died midair, and they fell like toys. No missiles. No lasers. Just silence. And then a voice. Not through ears, but inside every mind. You were warned. She spoke. We heard. Now you speak. Sam felt his knees buckle. He heard them. Not words, but pure thought. He heard them inside him like a second pulse. The room around him dimmed. Lights shut off. Screens went dark. And then a beam of light, not destructive, not burning. It surrounded Sam. The others stepped back. Don't move, the man said. They're choosing. Sam couldn't speak. His body lifted slowly from the ground, weightless, painless, and the world around him faded. He stood in blackness, in silence, in space without stars, and before him they appeared, shapes with no true form, eyes without faces. Thoughts like oceans. They were not flesh, not machine, not something humans could name. But he felt no fear. He felt her. Zara. Inside him. Around him. Speak, the voice said again, and Sam did. He told them everything. Not in sentences, not in words, but in memories, in emotions. In the truth, he showed them Zara's kindness, her sacrifice, her fear, her choice. He showed them Earth, flawed, violent, selfish, but also brave, beautiful, full of wonder. He showed them that humans could change, that someone had changed. He showed them her, and when he finished, the silence returned. One long pause, then softly, "We believe you." Sam awoke on the rooftop. Rain fell gently. The ships were gone. The sky was clean. Reports would later say it was all a hoax, a weather event, a mass hallucination. But Sam knew better. So did the people in the underground facility. So did the man in the coat, who sent Sam a message later that week. The stars have paused. Earth gets a second chance, but they'll watch again. And so will we. Sam left the city. He left the taxi. He didn't need a destination anymore. He just drove. Across quiet roads. Between small towns. Beneath open skies. Sometimes, at night, when the world is still and the engine hums soft beneath him, he sees a light in the sky. Not a plane. Not a drone. Just a quiet pulse, like a heartbeat, waiting. And sometimes when he looks in the mirror, he sees her. Not in form, but in memory, the girl who paid with something different. Something eternal.